तो EIA के बारे में जानेंगे, इन्वायरमेंटल इम्पैक्ट असेसमेंट। सो बैकग्राउंड, तो इंट्रोडक्शन के बारे में देखेंगे। इंट्रोडक्शन, इन्वायरमेंटल इम्पैक्ट असेसमेंट इज एन important management tool for ensuring optimal use of natural resource for sustainable development. It covers development sectors such as EIA is an important management tool for ensuring optimal use of natural resource for sustainable development, and it covers developmental sectors such as industries, thermal power projects, mining and thermal power project, mining schemes, etc. EIA has been now made mandatory under the Environmental Protection Act 1986. EIA has now been mandatory under the Environmental Protection Act 1986. For 29 categories of developmental activities involving investment of which is 50 crores and above. So, environmental impact assessment background. EIA process finds its origin from US. So EIA process finds its origin from United States, where due to huge public pressure, the government enacted National Environmental Policy Act (NEPA) in 1970. The role of EIA process was formally recognized at the Earth Summit in Rio Conference in 1992. The Rio Declaration stated that EIA shall be taken as a national instrument. So Rio Declaration stated that EIA shall be taken as national interest instrument for proposed projects which might adversely impact the environment. So importance, EIA importance. EIA report are crucial components of India's environmental decision making process. So EIA report are a critical importance of India's environmental decision making process. It acts as a detailed study of the potential impacts on proposed projects. It helps in predicting environmental impacts at an early stage in project planning and design. So based on these reports, the Environmental Ministry or other relevant regulatory bodies may or may not be grant approval to a project. The EIA reports are also important to define measures that the project could take in order to contain or offset project impacts. EIA based approvals for most projects are involve the process of conducting public hearing so that who are likely to be affected can be taken on board before approving the project. EIA links environment with development. The goal is to ensure environmentally safe and sustainable development. The goal is it is, and approval must most projects also involve the process of conducting public hearing. So it's defined to that the project could take in order to contain offset projects impacts. So next question, issues related to EIA. So environmental decision making process for developmental projects and supposed to use the best available scientific knowledge to ensure that development does not lead to negative impacts, but there are compromised decision making on development and infrastructure projects. Sometimes the EIA reports lack of expected degrees of honesty, owing of bias, corruption, exaggeration, and wrong claims. EIA reports for the approved redevelopment projects in Delhi were and prepared by copying from copyright papers, web pages, and other EIA reports. There are many instances are missing or misleading information which understate the potential impact of the projects. If many projects are approved within public consultation, lack of awareness among the local people about the process of EIA, its significance for them, their own rights and responsibilities. Most of the time, EIA reports are available in local languages, and and local people are unable to decipher the reports and are misled by the proponents. Expert appraisal committees is dominated by bureaucrats and institutional experts rather than eminent environmentalists. Very little importance is given to socio-economic issues, including those related to gender. In the end, it is citizens who have to bear the brunt. Way forward, the EIA should not be used just as a means for obtaining an environmental clearance, rather project proponents should use it as a management tool to access the soundness of a project plan. The focus of EIA needs to shift from utilization and exploitation of natural resources to conservation of natural resources. Competent authorities must ensure that a project causes minimal adverse environmental impact and generates maximum social and economic benefits, involving affected people and concerned citizens in environmental decision making. How has its far-reaching effects? It allows for demarcating environmental governance. Participatory processes give opportunities to understand the plan for unforeseen effects. In 2009, the Delhi High Court in Utkarsh Mandal versus Union of India upheld that it is the a duty of the EAC to consider the main merits of the objects raised at the public hearings. Women and other vulnerable sections of the society are the first and most affected by consequences of developmental processes and damage to the environment. Adverse impact of development projects can be reduced with the full and equal participation of both genders, particularly women, in decision-making process. NGO, civil societies. So NGO and civil society groups and local communities need to build their capacities to use the EIA notification towards better decision making on projects. तो यहाँ पर आपको उत्कर्ष मंडल वर्सेस यूनियन ऑफ इंडिया का केस 2009 दिल्ली हाई कोर्ट के बारे में बोलना है. तो जहाँ पर इट इज़ द ड्यूटी ऑफ EAC to consider the merits of the objection on it raised at the public hearing. So women and other vulnerable sections of society first to most affected the consequences of developmental process and damage to the environment. Okay, and democratic environmental governance को बनाना चाहिए. So natural resource को utilize करना चाहिए, conserve करना चाहिए. Okay, minimal adverse effects को use करना चाहिए. Okay, issue क्या है? Expert appraisal committee के बारे में बोलना है. So यहाँ पर very little importance is given to socio-economic issue को दे रहा है. तो दिल्ली तो देखिए redevelopment ये report approved redevelopment projects Delhi are prepared by copying and copyright papers. तो ये misleading होते हैं. तो यहाँ पर decision making process अच्छा नहीं है, इसको भी अच्छा करना चाहिए. So जहाँ पर lack of expected degree of honesty नहीं है, यहाँ पर ये के बारे में बोलना है कैसे optimally utilize किया जाए रिसोर्स को, नेचुरल रिसोर्स को फॉर सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट के लिए. It covers the developmental sector, industry, thermal power, mining, etc. And EIA has now been made mandatory under the Environmental Protection Act 1986 in 29 categories of developmental activities involving investment 50 crore. The origin United States and with a huge pressure of the government enacted National Environment Policy Act 1970, NEPA Act. EIA formally recognized as Summit Rio Conference 1992. Rio Declaration EIA shall be taken national instrument for proposed project. Importance: critical component for India's environmental decision making process. So detailed study on the potential impacts helps in predicting environmental impacts. Based on these reports, Environment Ministry and other relevant regulatory bodies may or may grant approval to the project. EIA reports also important to define measures that the project could take in order to contain or offset projects impacts. EIA based EIA-based approvals for most projects are also involved in the process of conducting public hearing so that who are likely to be affected can be taken on board before approving the project. EIA links the environment with development. The goal is to ensure environmentally safe and sustainable development. So okay, so हमने डिस्कस करा environmental impact assessment के बारे में. Thank you.